Okay, started. So recording is started. So what we have done now, sometimes, if you are having your model, your model is, so there is no any project, you are unable to identify the project. So in such cases, what you can do, you can create your project and you can set your model to that project, and whatever the objects you wanted to work on it, you can take that objects and you can add to your project. So you have to select your project when you have multiple projects, because here in this case I have multiple projects, right? So this is how you can add your objects and you can open and you can work on those objects, right? So in this case, we have one validate field method. Okay, and you see this validate field method. Let me add this. So if you see this validate field method, what we are doing, validate field method is mainly, so what is the purpose of validate field method? When you're opening in the form level, when you're putting a values on the and every field level, if you want to validate field by field, okay, so in such cases we'll use the validate field method. Okay, are you able to follow me? Like the default signature of this validate field override method. So for example, if I go to this table, so how do we take that method? We'll go to override methods. We'll select the validate field, and if I select it, it will automatically create a method here. Say override method. Okay. Once you take that override method, what it will happen? It will create this method, and if you see here, if you see this signature, so you will not, whatever I am highlighting, that will not be there earlier. Let me comment the old code so that you will understand. So I'm commenting whatever the code we have added. Okay. So when you take a new method, you will see like this. It's a empty method. You will see. Okay. So when you see this empty method, what is the signature of this method? What it is saying? If you see, it's a public method. Return type is Boolean. Okay. Then method name is validate field, and the parameters are there. What parameter is this? Field ID. Field ID to check. So default, whenever you take this method, you will get the every field ID value here. Okay. So every field ID value will get it here. So what is field ID? So whatever the value, whatever in which field you are entering your value, that field ID will get it. In a table level, for every table or every field will have an ID. We cannot see that generally. So you will get that ID. So based on that ID only, we can execute our logic only to that specific field. Okay. Are you understanding or any confusion? So generally, how do we do? Generally, when you are putting a field in a form level, if you are putting a value, and if you are moving to another field, let me go and show you in the one of the form and open and show you. So this method will get execute. Validate field. Every field. If you have like 4 fields in your form, you're putting a you are entering some value in one field. So if you're moving to another field, this method will get fire and it will get execute. So based on that field ID, you can check that field ID and you can execute your block of logic. Okay. This method will default, it will return the true value, I mean true or false value. Generally, it's a Boolean, but it will return the true or false value default. Okay. Will return the true or false value. Default value is, if you see this line, the default RET value is false. Okay, default RET, this Boolean value is false. If you take any variable, if you take any Boolean variable, the default value is false. Okay, so due to this default code, this is the standard code. It is creating the standard, right? Through super will get the true value. It will execute the standard logic. I mean standard override logic. We have seen this inheritance concept with overriding, right? So we know about this. So it will get the default true value. So based on our condition, if this is true, we'll come inside and we can write switch condition, or we can write the if condition based on our need. Okay, we can write that. Based on that, we can execute our logic. Okay, so let me show you this example so that you will understand. So let me uncheck and I'll show you. So now what I'm going to do, I'm showing you this example.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, there's one question.
Yeah,
Here we are validating quantity field. Quantity field we are validating. For example, if we want to validate multiple field, like one is quantity, other one is ID and other things. So how can we do? We can assign that in this same if condition or switch case.
yeah, you can put if conditions or you can use edge case. It's up to you. You can do anything.
Yeah, but I tried creating this another validate field method. We cannot if we have overridden this method once, we
Why you
cannot.
are creating one more validate rate method? You can put one more switch case, right? For one more field.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put case, right? One more case you can put for one more field.
Okay.
So see, validate rate method you can take, you will take once, you cannot see that again. You can take only one method. How can you get one more method? The validate rate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you will not get it like that.
Okay, so we need to create use case statement, different values. Okay, fine.
So you can use one more case statement, or you can use if condition, multiple if conditions based on your need.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So this is how we do. Let me show you that also by taking two if conditions, or how do we do that? Okay. If I, so in this case, so this block we have added. So this is the standard method. We'll get it. As I told you, the default RET value is, if you take the variable, this value is true. Sorry, this default value is false. But here in this case, through this line, RET value is getting true. Then return is true, so that it will get executed in general scenario. It will not be any validation we are doing. So what we are writing, if RET, that means if RET is true, then it will come inside. So we are writing switch case. Okay. In switch, what we are doing, we are taking this valid field ID to check. So this will contain the ID. What ID it will contain? That field ID. Whatever the field we are entering the value, that field ID will get it here. So based on that field ID, it will go to that specific matching field. So if you are modifying your value in the quantity, it will go to that case, that is order with quantity. What we are checking here, case. To get the field ID, what we are using? Field num of table name and field name. So that I'll get the quantity field ID here with this, whatever I'm highlighting with this code, I'll get the quantity field ID. If this ID is matching with this ID, because when I'm entering the quantity field, it will go to this block case. It will come inside, and what we are doing, we are writing our logic here. This dot quantity is greater than 100. I would like to throw this error. So my intention is here always the quantity has to be always below 100, 100 or below 100. If it is 100 or more than 100, we have to throw an error saying that customer quantity below 100. So you can know what we're doing. When you call this check failed method, it's automatically give the false value. So we are making as a false. When you make this return value as a false, it will not allow us to move to another field. It will not allow us to move to another field. That's what the validation. When you talk about all the validate methods, the return type is always Boolean. Based on that Boolean value, if you return that false value based on your conditions, it will not allow us to continue that process. Whether it is a saving a record or validating a record, such kind of things. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
The quantity value should be below. It's not below. It's greater than the based upon condition.
Sorry, quantity value. I'm not hearing it clearly.
So if this dot quantity greater than or equal to 100 now, so the value should be not below. It's up above 100.
Equal to or above 100. If it is there 100 also, it will not allow. If you want to keep it only above 100, you can keep it. You can remove the equal to.
అంటే నేను అనేది ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ బిలో అంటే కరెక్ట్ అవుతుందా అని ఎబో ఉండాలి కదా
In check field,
is
check field
equal
you
to
have
or
written.
greater.
చెక్
No, let me
ఫీల్డ్
tell you.
చెక్ ఫీల్డ్
Tell me what is the doubt?
చెక్ ఫీల్డ్ లో క్వాంటిటీ అనే వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ మీరు తీసుకున్న కండిషన్ ప్రకారం ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది కదా 100 అంటే ఎక్కువ ఉంటేనే తీసుకోవాలి మీరు ఇక్కడ మెసేజ్ ఏం చెప్తున్నారో బిలో అని చెప్తున్నారు అది రాంగ్ అవుతుందని చూస్తున్నారు.
No, you're understanding wrongly. If this condition is getting true, you will come inside. So what we are doing, we are throwing an error. What we are throwing? Quantity value should be below 100. Because we have taken more than 100, the quantity value, that's why it is getting true.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Got it.
So this is how we are doing the validate methods. So there are some other, I'll execute and show you. And there are some other validate methods are there. Validate methods are important, which is starting with validate, validate field, validate write, and validate delete. Okay. When you talk about validate write, while you are saving a record, we'll use this validate write. Okay. See the signature. When you take any validate methods, which is starting with validate, the return type is Boolean. You can see this. There is no any field value because whatever the record you will enter while you are saving that record, any field value if you want to check, you can check it here. Or you can check that any of the field value, and based on your condition, you can check that. You can stop that saving that record. The same thing you can write here also. Whatever we are doing in validate field. Validate field is every field by field it will validate. Validate write will, while you are saving that record, irrespective of any field, you can check any field in a single shot. In validate write, we will use it. Okay, and we have validate delete also. While you're deleting a record, if you want to do any operations, if you want to stop the deletion, you can use the validate delete. Similarly, it will be like same validate write only. But this event will execute while you're deleting a record. Is it clear? Let me open this form and let me build this. I'm building this project. So after this building, we can open and we can test that. Okay. Any other doubts till now in validate field? understanding of this code or
Hello.
yeah, build అవుతుందండి. I mean it's building.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Sometimes it is taking more time, but I don't know. Let me see anybody else is doing. So build is completed. Okay. So now what we can do, I'm just opening this table from the, because we have not created any forms, right, for this. So I'm just opening in table browser to test it actually, how that is working. I think so we are good with the table over methods, I think so. Some of the table override methods. So other table override methods, maybe insert, update, you can try them also. You can take some of the override methods and you can put some logic or put some infos and you can try from your side. I say that when you are inserting a record, the insert method will get executed. Okay, insert method, init value we have seen, update method, when you are modifying any record in the form level or table level, it will get execute update method. If you want to see like some of the methods, how it will work, you can see some of the standard tables also. You go to AOT, go to classic view, go to some standard tables like cust table or when table. I open this table. So here you can see insert method, for example. So what they have written in insert method, while we are inserting a record, that logic, it will get executed. Okay, so if you see in this insert method, so in this insert method, what they are doing a lot of code logic actually. While inserting a record, they are updating some other things or they are assigning some other values. So much of logic here in standard. Before super in the sense, super you will have in that method. Before super in the sense, before inserting the record, they are updating some values. They are assigning some values that will also get inserted. After super, they are updating something else. So you don't get confused by seeing all these things. But generally, so in insert method, while you are inserting a record, that method will get executed. Let me go to this table. So this is our table. I'm creating a new record. saving this record. And what is this? It is the logic we have written here. More than 100, right? If I put below 100, it's not working. There is no issue. If I put 101, I try to change it to another field, it's not allowing. Quantity value should be below 100. It will not allow actually. You cannot put other things also. Okay, it's allowing, right? It's just we are giving RET equal to false, right? Let me save this. It will not allow. We cannot save this until you put 100, 100. If I put 100 also, it will not allow. If I put maybe below, it will allow us actually. So this product ID is string. This product ID field integer rated. So it's allowing us to save the record. If I put 200, cannot do anything. It's throwing an error actually. Okay. In other way, like you can throw an error also. For example, if you put 100, if you don't want to go to another field also, you can throw an error. It will even not even allow us to do any other operations. You can put instead of check field, you can simply throw error and you can put this. It will stop the complete control. It will not allow us to do any other things. Okay, now it's allowing. Now we can save the record. Record saved now. One more record I'm taking. That's how we do. Okay, is it clear? Hello.
Clear, sir.
Okay. So, and one more thing, as I told you, we have a concept called in a table method. We have a find and exist methods. Okay. Generally, if you take any table like kind of main tables, if I take cust table, or I'll take like simple table, cust group. Similarly, when you are creating your main table, we have to create the find and exist method. Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Did you miss anything?
No.
Okay.
I will.
Okay. So generally, if you take any standard tables, and if you see like you can see exist and find method. These two are override. These two are user defined methods.
Sir.
Okay.
Hello.
These two are user defined methods. Can you hear me? Yeah.
అది స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేయరా ఒకసారి మాది పవర్ పోయింది.
How about others? Others cannot see my screen.
Yeah, we are not able to see your screen.
I'm sharing once again. Yeah, can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm saying, if you take like any standard tables like cust group or cust table or vent group, all these tables, main tables. So you can see in the find and exist method. When you create a new table also, you have to create these two methods in real time generally. So find method is nothing but so if you see this cust group table, in cust group table, what is the main primary key field here? Cust group. Okay. Based on the cust group, in general scenario, most of the time, in many places, based on the cust group ID, you will try to fetch the customer group record. So that is the general usage. So similarly, if you take cust table, based on the customer account, we will try to fetch the record. Okay. Can you keep it in mute, Lakshman?
Yes, sir.
Srinivas garu, can you keep it in mute? Making some noise. Okay. So hello, Srinivas garu, can you keep it in mute? Hello.
Hello. Are you able to hear me? Hello. Sunil garu.
Hello.
Oh yeah. ఇప్పుడు వినపడుతుంది.
Okay, fine, not a problem. Okay, keep it in mute and let it continue. You're not talking. Okay. Okay, so now what you're seeing now here in cust group table, we are seeing find and exist method. If you take cust table or if you take vendor table, now in most of the tables you can see find and exist method. So the reason, what is the purpose and what is the usage of these methods? If you go to your cust group table, and what is the primary key field? Cust group ID, cust group. Okay. So and if you see in the indexes, cust group is the unique index. Okay, allow duplicates now. So cust group is the field. So generally, if you want to fetch the record, in many cases, so we based on this cust group ID, we will try to fetch the record. So we may need to write a select statement. Instead of doing that, in all the tables, in the main tables, we will have the find method. So find method is nothing but this will return the record. Return type is table, cust group table. So when you pass the cust group ID to this table, it will return the with that cust group ID matching records, it will return. So this is the find method. So similarly, if you are writing any, if you are writing our, if you are creating our new table, so we have to create the find method. So that is the best practice. Okay. So here actually we are, if you see the select statement, select first only cust group where cust group dot cust group equal to cust group ID. What is this cust group ID? Whatever the cust group ID we are getting it, that cust group ID will be returned here, that matching cust group ID. So if you want to use this, for example, I'm adding a new, runnable class. Just I'm adding new runnable class. Here what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a cust group table buffer. Okay. So in this case, what I'm going to do, cust group, by using the cust group table, by using the scope resolution operator, I can call the find method because it's a static method. I told you already, when there is a static method, we don't have to create any variable or buffer. You can directly call with the scope resolution operator. When you call this cust group, what you can see when you open the cust group find method, call the find method, you can see the mandatory parameter. Mandatory parameter is cust group ID. So other parameters are optional. So I can pass the cust group ID here to get the cust group record. So what is the cust group ID? For example, I go and see here. So I'll put 10, I think 10, 20, like that. So since it's a string format, string value, we'll give it string 10. So it's automatically this method will return the cust group record. So that's the reason I have created the cust group buffer. I'm getting that record into this actually. So once we got that record, so what do? I can use that cust group. I can put an info or I can pass it to some other place or so based on our need. Instead of writing the select statement, I can simply call this method. In this find method, so in this find method, we'll have the select statement. That statement will be written in the cust group for us. Okay. Cust group dot cust group. It will show the cust group. Since it is a string, I am not taking any other things. I can use it. If you want to test this, we can run and execute this one. Are you understanding this one? So similarly, we'll see even this one, exist method. Exist method is nothing but to check whether that value is exist or not. If that is exist, it will give the true value. If it is not exist, it will give the false value. For example, similarly, and write like this. Instead of find method, I'll call the exist method. Exist method, I'm passing the 10. Okay, if that method is exist, this 10 value is exist in that cust group table, the customer group ID. So then it will be true value. It will get in the true value. If that is true, it will come inside. Okay. If you want to see that, right click and go to definition. It will take us to the exist method. Here you can see. This is the method actually. So select first only rec ID from cust group, where cust group dot cust group equal to cust group ID. What is the cust group ID? We'll get it here 10. If that record is exist, that means that record exists not equal to 0. That means record does not exist. It will get the false value. It will return the false value. Okay. So if that record exists, you will get the true value. Okay. I'm just running this. Some errors are there. If you see here, so we got the testing. Where is empty? What is this testing? Which one is executing actually? Oh, sorry. It's default. It is executing practice method. Because the reason, did you understand this? Why it is? It's not executing our. So the default project it is taking as a practice. I made it my object as a startup project. This one I have not made it as a startup project because my project is assignment project, right? I have to right click on this project. I have to set this as a startup project. Now it will take this project and this object for the start now. It will consider and it will execute this this job. So this is all about what we are discussing. This is for the for the developer. If you want to execute something and if you want to test it, how it is working and what values are getting, we'll test it. We'll run it from the here and we will see that actually result. Now it is executing ours. So if you see now, you can see that result, what we have did. So 10 is there. So you got the 10 value by using the select statement. Other one is record is exist with 10. So it is showing the record exist. So control will come here and it will go to this find method. It will check whether this 10 value record is there. It will get that record and it will store into custom group. And by using that custom group table buffer, I am showing the custom group ID. If you want to show some other field values also, you can use it. You will get the complete record into this buffer. Okay. Another one is here I am checking simply this 10, the custom group ID 10 is exist or not in this table. If that is exist, it will go inside and it will show this in. Okay, in real time, it is like this. Okay. Is it clear?
దీని ఒకసారి చార్జర్ తీ. చెప్పండి.
Any doubts here for everybody?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Pratap.
Yeah, no doubts.
Okay, so if you go to customer accounts receivables, and if you open and see like custom groups, let me go to setup. In customer groups, you can see customer group 10 is exist because I know that customer group ID, so that's why I have used directly. You can see that 10, 100, 20, 30, 40, 80, 90. If you put like some other value, you will not get those records. So I hope you are clear with this. Then, so we have seen some of the override methods, and we have seen the standard user-defined methods we have to create on this table level. Okay. So classes basics also we have seen, right? So we'll wind up for today, and we'll connect later, and we'll see like how to do the insertion and updates and all. We'll see. And I think so. We have seen this concept, right? Inserting a
Okay.
record, updating a record. Joseph?
No, data manipulation. Things are